My first question I want to ask you today is, are you single? And if you are single, then perfect. This episode is exactly for you. My second question, though, is if you are single, how well are you enjoying it? Truly, I'm single myself right now. A whole lot of us are single today in the modern world. Being single is continuing to trend, just continuing to make waves on mainstream headlines as the older folk are kind of looking at the younger folk, millennials, zoomers, alphas, and scratching their heads wondering, why aren't any of you talking to each other? Why is no one's going outside? No, you guys are not doing dates. Okay, like, are there still you guys still do drive-ins for movies? Is that a thing? And most of us are saying no. Most are saying absolutely not, which is really sad. Is the hype real though? Is that something to believe? As a man who is seeking his best life, self improvement is not just productivity. It's not just busy work. It's not even just, chasing success, making tons of money, financial freedom and all that good stuff. Yeah, great, great. But here at the Pillars of Man, I do my best to come up with concepts and guidance and whatnot that really helps any guy achieve the best kind of reality uniquely shaped for himself. And so that's why this one right here is so important for so many men. And that's love. Yeah, bro. That's romance. I believe that's a big part of the male human experience. It's just really tough because when you contrast that with exactly what the dating market, world, apps, and games look like nowadays, it's a bit off putting to say the least. You don't really want to participate. It's uh, seems very rigged. It's like one giant scam. I've heard the horror stories. The numbers also don't lie. Divorce rates and, separation statistics and stuff like that. All the all the crap you could find on social media where you know, the internet, it's definitely a collective hub of human opinions. All right, that's definitely like one of the fundamental basics of just what the internet is. So naturally, yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of people, share their side of the story of how it all went wrong. Yeah, no, I really get that, and you get enough of that, and it can really twist your own personal perception of how worth it dating is for you, in particular, personally, you and your own life situation. That's why I try to avoid that. I try to keep it very grounded in what is best for myself and my life. If we're going to begin there, you're gonna have to get honest though. You're gonna have to use the truth of what you really want out of life, bro. And that's why men find themselves in one of two camps. The first camp is I want to. Okay, now whether that fellow is going to try or not, at least we have established he does. He does want to get married, to find his one true queen, and capture that wonderful gift that is a wife. And that's not even my words. Those are dad's words. It is the Lord that says, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. It is the Lord that says, he who receives a wife is receiving favor from God. And to top it all off, that even says, you and I, it's just not good for us to be alone, for us to be isolated for too long. So, how tragic then is your reality when you believe for the rest of it, for as long as you live, you are going to be alone? Maybe even more evil than that. Yes, more demonic than this is to believe that is the best way for me to live, is to stay alone, stay away from women, stay away from dating. All of this is absolutely okay. It's a poop show. It's awful. Look at what everyone is doing to one another. I'm not trying to deal with that. How long has MGTOW been around? The acronym for men going their own way. I think it's been a minute. Guys fed up. Guys reading the playing field and seeing a whole lot of situationships. Okay, seeing a whole lot of friends with benefits, but it's like we're not even friends, and I'm not benefiting from this. A whole lot of divorce, a whole lot of kids, children who are getting the very worst of it. What's going on there? Such a young child, being hit with this locomotive of, yeah, your mom and I just can't work this out. So every other weekend, or maybe even worse than that, just not able to see the mother or father ever again. I mean, some worst case scenarios that are very real. They're very damaging to just the human experience, right? They say the formative years are so important for a kid. Single digit years. I mean, that's when everything, in terms of resource, in terms of positivity, in terms of security and safety, these really need to be dialed in for a kid to have their best chance at going into their best selves. Maybe I'm getting a little bit too ahead of myself. Maybe I should just start with two single men having a conversation like this, what is the next best move for you and I, bro? And that leads me to the film that I'm going to be using for today's episode. And it's called Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And it stars as the male and the female leads, Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet, as Joel and Clementine. Or I'll probably call her Clem for short. And wow, excellent film. Saw it the other night. And it really proved to me how worth it or how not worth it does not come down to any external opinion. It's just not up to anyone else, no matter how bad they had it. I think that's fair. If the internet is one thing, it's definitely a collective hub of human opinion. So it's cool to hear people give their fair share. But bro, I want you to be so careful, because you cannot let that affect the honest decisions that you want to make for your own life. I say honest because they're based off of the truth. They're based off of just what you really want, when you just not putting up any BS in front of it. There's no excuses. There's no justification. There's no holding back. You just really do want what you say you want. And this is what I mean. That's really just one of two camps for any guy in the modern world today, any 21st century man that is thinking about love. You're either going to try, or you're going to convince yourself for the rest of your life that you don't want to try. For any man that is genuinely saying, nope, I'm happy not trying. I am joyous. I am at peace. I completely forfeit, any kind of capability I have within myself to pursue love for the rest of my life. I believe that's really tough. I don't know if that is, the honest to God truth. Because I see so much human nature that is going to rebel against that. You might know what I'm talking about right now, bro. When you're alone and you're able to just kind of relax, or maybe not. Or maybe these are the kind of thoughts that don't allow you to relax, so you try your very best to avoid them, as many of us do. One of the easiest things you can do nowadays in the modern world is avoidance. Trying to get away from the pain that I do. I'm not going to let anyone know. I don't even want to let myself know. But as soon as I let go, there it is. It pops right back up. You do. You do. You are looking, or you would want to look for your one true queen. You do want a wife. You would love the experience of a happy marriage and raising children and having your own nuclear family unit. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is what I wish to use because it's such an excellent portrayal of what happens when a man and a woman, they do exactly that. They do try. They stick through it together, hand in hand. They go the whole 9 yards, and it still doesn't work out. It's so interesting to see the actual mechanics. Okay. All those, this film captures so brilliantly all of these little, nuances, the small pockets of existence that only two people will ever know ever happened because it was only in the presence of one another. Very special moments like this. Now these can be some of the most precious treasures a man could ever have for his entire existence, or they could very well be some of the most nightmarish, agonizing memories that you wish you could erase. However, in this film, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, that isn't a wish. That's actually the premise. So before I go any further, brother, I got to drop my usual disclaimer. There may be a whole bunch of spoilers ahead. So before we vibe, I highly recommend you go and catch this film, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, 2006, I believe, with Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet. So without further ado, Joel is, he's almost picture perfect. Now, I'm going to stop right here and get away from, speaking on behalf of men or applying Joel to other guys. No, oh my God. Throughout, especially in the beginning, he is so me. I mean, you might have felt this too. Okay, in that way, then you and I definitely see eye to eye. Simply because Joel is definitely more on the shy side, for sure. He's definitely more introverted. He's more reserved. Okay, like quiet, very, very introspective and very internal, cerebral, super up here, very little out here. Okay, and he runs into Clementine or Clem, and she is the very opposite. Clem's a freaking fireball. And very chaotic, very impulsive, very brash, vulgar, blunt, direct. Okay, no, there's no boundaries with this shit. She's it's so that train scene was awesome because she invades his personal space so quickly. I love, you see. I mean, this is just great acting, but you see how how should I say, protective Joel is in the seat. Maybe this is just me, but wasn't he kind of like braced? He's kind of ready. This is, possibly just emotional tendencies that formed during childhood, which we get a glimpse of as well. And I'll try to hit that later in today's episode. But he's sitting there, and he's kind of just like, he. It's not like he's actually boxing, like he's got his arms up, but he's definitely on guard. Why? I believe because at first sight, he was already so infatuated, and maybe it would take a little bit of time for his mind to catch up with his heart, maybe something like that. But he is nervous because it's happening so fast. Maybe he doesn't even understand. I don't know this chick. She's really weird. And, I've literally only known her for a couple minutes. This conversation just started. But why am I so drawn to her? I don't know. love at first sight. Though I'm not sure if that's really a thing. No, I'm talking the science of it. I'm talking the biology of it. I'm absolutely familiar with the saying. It's pretty cliche by now, but does that really happen to human beings? Love at first sight? Um, Nowadays, what I see more just it's a lot more popular on the internet that I keep running into is it's lust at first sight, not even so much love. But hey, I mean, baby girl was definitely feeling him. Clem seemed to be very curious. And she just seems like a naturally inquisitive woman, but the way she approaches Joel, okay, in that scene when they're on the train, she initiates almost everything, which is that was the first unrealistic part of the film for me. Imagine a world where women thought to themselves, so I'm great for him and he's great for me. And that could totally happen. This could work. Oh, in fact, this is going to be great. We're going to be having multiple kids together. I just need to say hi to him. I'm not going to. No, I'm good. Okay. Because he's supposed to say hi to me. That's just how it works. And that's cool. That is a challenge in and of itself. As an awkward guy, speaking for myself, it's a pretty scary challenge. But see, there's the thing with challenge and fear that, brother, you have to admit that is fertile ground for growth. You know, for you to become better, for you to take a big boy step into your own masculinity. I'm just saying it'd be nice. How many relationships, how many successful and excellent relationships that could be working out right now if there was just a woman who was like, okay, fine. I need to make this as obvious as possible for him that it's okay for us to stand in front of one another and speak for a little bit. Okay. Because without that conversational interaction, there really is no way, bro, you are not going to be able to telepathically draw those digits into your brain to get her number to make the real plans. But back to Joel and Clem, they kind of hit it off right off the bat. They say that attraction is the catalyst. I agree. It happens really fast too, apparently, within seconds. Are human beings able to deduce, I like or I do not like your face? And that happens, I think, really super, super quickly for both Joel and Clem. And Joel is obviously attracted, and it takes a while to warm up to her. Clem doesn't. Clem is immediately going over into his seat and trying to be like, yo, what's up? Like, what are you into? Okay, where are you from? Who are you? What do you like? What do you don't like? This is what I like, and this is what I don't like. And oh wow, she's a yapper for sure. uh, that's actually one of the most endearing traits I believe that Joel finds about Clem. You really do. You talk so much. You talk enough for both of us. And down the line, after they do hit things off and the relationship is well underway, maybe even a little bit too much. Oh, but I'll try to take it there. It's just the way that they start out um, is it was a great nod to this idea: opposites attract. That it doesn't love does not always look like this picture perfect, you know, two peas in a pod kind of setup. Then a man and a woman, they must align with everything in order to have their best shot possible at staying together. Interestingly enough, with my own personal research, I've even seen, you know, um, some people say that is not ideal, because then you're not you're not getting together with a significant other, oh, like this person is very special, of the utmost importance to me. It won't be like that. It won't be your better half. It won't be your missing half, your missing piece. It won't be anything like that. You just be marrying or getting together with a clone of yourself, a spitting mirror image. That's not what you want. You do want there to be some friction. You do want there to be some clash. Yeah, I'm to be honest, I'm not too sure myself as to exactly how that works. I've had some experiences myself, but I mean, clash and conflict came later, not really in the beginning. Though I can see how boring that can make the relationship, though, right off the bat. If you guys are just right, everything is the same. We eat the same, we watch the same, we do, we like the same stuff, we don't like the same stuff. It's just like the kind of uh uh, excitement and the interest and really maybe even the spice of the relationship has I can see how that must naturally be born in opposing views. And that doesn't mean you can't get along. It doesn't mean you're going to have to butt heads on everything. I think it's just a lot more interesting to have the person that you are attracted to, that you want to be with, come from different worlds, okay? Different perspectives, different origins, okay, of why they think this way and why they're like this and why they like this or why they don't like this, etc., etc. Yeah, great, great starting point for both of them. But then as the film goes on, it gets very tragic. And this right here is why so many guys, I believe, are avoiding the whole notion of dating at all. It's already very difficult to get your foot in the door. I understand that. Though that cannot be a reason why men don't try, though, simply because it's difficult too. Because it's very dangerous, bro. You take that mindset with anything in life, okay? Setting aside women, it's just not going to end well no matter what you try to do in life. Uh, I believe that it's okay for it to be, have a certain amount of difficulty, that's going to be unique to the time period that you're living in. Ours, this is so debatable. You know, this is really controversial, but I'll say yes. It's definitely a unique time to be alive and try and find love. All the dating apps, all of the digital and the electronic, it's so much less in person, which is, I believe, how the foundations of male and female connection were largely built across human history. And that is, a completely new frontier that the youngest generations of America today are exploring, or rather, refusing to explore. Millennials and down. See, what I want you to understand right off the bat, okay, that you're going to see, well, that I hope you already saw in this film, is that Joel and Clem, the longer they stay together, the more that they hate each other. And it's so this is what's so interesting to me, is that we actually get so many of those uh as I mentioned earlier, very special, nuanced moments that only Joe and Clem are going to know about because they were the only ones present. This is when they were alone together. So, without these two souls, these occurrences in space and time do not actually exist. They only exist for as long as Joel and Clem remember them. And there's so many. The experience of love is what what a wild ride. No, like, to be honest, It's all of it. That's a little vague. What I mean is, it's absolutely the good and the bad. You're going to get wonder and amazement and excitement and thrills and happiness and all of that. And then at the same time, love will also bring with the same person, born from the same intentions. I just want you. Oh my God, you want me too. And that this is when a man and a woman that's when they blast off into the relationship. Just don't forget the other side of the coin, which is the heartache, all the bitterness, hatred, resentment, just a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. It's interesting because you simply cannot have one without the other. And I'm not so sure. It worries me that the younger generations of today seem to be not really their fault either, because of youth, because of inexperience, because of ignorance. You're not going to really be able to understand these things until you live them yourself. I just think it's a setup for failure when, as you are lucky and blessed enough to be living that experience of a relationship with somebody else, and you move about in life thinking it's always going to be great. And that just simply isn't possible. That may not even be love. Really, brother, we're going to slow down a little bit. And I want you to think about that for yourself. Okay, just look at Joel and Clem. Okay, all right. Are you looking for your own version of Clem? Goodness gracious. Physically speaking, I absolutely am. But personality as well? Okay. Maybe similar, not at all similar. I mean, she definitely Kate Winslet does a wonderful job of kind of showing the modern female human experience of it. Okay. That whole side of what it's like to be with us, to be with 21st century men. It's really well done. But as you think about, oh, I am single and I am looking for a girlfriend right now. That'd be cool. And hopefully, if it works out, she'd be my wife. And you probably have, this kind of decently clear idea of who she is and the type of person that she is. Okay. It's not possible for her to remain perfect in your eyes. Even if you so desperately want her to be, brother, even if that's how you meet her. And that's exactly what we see. I love Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. For me, hit this right on the money. They nailed it precisely. It was perfect. You see all the weird things that they do together. Okay, that kind of made me. You know what I'm saying? I'm on YouTube. You have to have watched this film, bro. Some of the stuff I can't talk about. I was sitting there like, that's I don't. Okay, that's your business. This is what you two enjoy. This is how you two would like to enjoy that. You know what I mean? With the pillows, bro. Oh my God. And they're having fun. It's not. It's weird because I'm judging. That's what I'm doing. But for them, it's between them. It's what they're both comfortable with, what they both feel safe doing with one another. Just the way that they do everything. That moment on the river, on the frozen river, it's one of the peak experiences for both of them. Very wholesome, very pure, almost the very definition of romance itself. You got two people, okay? They're just lying there next to each other. I think they were holding hands, and they're just pointing out constellations with one another. That's all they're doing. It's really quite simple. It's nothing really more than that. Yet for them, one of the most special up points of the entire relationship. See, that's what I mean, bro. A very precious memory that I believe any human being should be, okay, should be grateful for having, no matter what happens. It's just that the test comes when everything begins to go wrong. And that happens after they do everything. This is inevitable. I want to make this so clear. I believe this is most pertinent. It's just, it's something young people today absolutely need to understand about love, because it's never been easier to mask flaw, and it's never been easier to hide deficiency or insufficiency, or insecurities. Just personality and character flaws. No one is perfect. It's not possible. I believe the very nature of being a human being is to be imperfect. That kind of goes into male self-improvement itself. It's one of the reasons what makes it such an amazing process to try. It's because you and I are so imperfect, bro. That's what gives us a part of it. A part of it. I'd have it be a large part of it. The drive to strive towards perfection is because you would try and hit it flawlessly. That gives meaning and purpose to a man's life. Okay? When that comes down to love, oh, you better believe it, bro. It's the very opposite. It is very imperfect, though it feels so smooth and everything is going so well in the beginning, because you just don't know this person well enough yet. You just don't know them like that, bro. All of these little nuances, idiosyncrasies, I learned from Good Will Hunting. Okay, all of these very, very specific mannerisms, tendencies, behaviors, okay, that kind of make a person who they are. I'm talking about the little stuff, brother. We're really getting a little micro here, really zooming in right now and taking it out of, like, movie night and going out together, hitting the city with one another, trips and walks and dinners and all that good stuff. A whole lot of date nights. Yeah, that's great. That's great. But that is what is going to lead you into how somebody needs to have the bathroom when you are sharing a living space with one another. This is how someone needs to have their food in a certain way, at a certain temperature, cut in a certain way, cooked in a certain way. This is when that's what leads to you understanding. This is what makes this person so afraid. This is this is what this person needs to feel brave and courageous. This is the stuff that always, every single time, without missing a beat, will make this person cry. This is the stuff that truly inspires this person. For them to get out of bed in the morning and be their best self. Okay, right alongside your attempt to do the same. That's what leads to that. And I want you to see how beautiful that is, bro. It's just, however, this beauty cannot exist without all the bitterness and the conflict. And the reason why the bitterness and the conflict arises is because Joel and Clem, after they do it all, It's been years. He even says this. I love that scene when they're having Chinese together. Chopsticks with the what was it? Was it the classic white takeout box with the red was it ancient Chinese styled building on it, if you know what I'm talking about? It's like the classic, Asian restaurant takeout box. And they're there at this place, and we get to hear what Joel says to himself in his own head. And Joel goes, he kind of narrates the memories. And I remember this guy says, "Here we are again." And the way that he said that just instantly, lit up this thought in my brain. How many times have they already been here? How many times did he order that and she ordered this right in front of each other? And maybe they even sat there at that table and they had a similar conversation and eating this food. Brother, notice how exhausted Joel sounds. Isn't that so crazy? This inevitable doom that attaches itself to any man and woman that are crazy enough to dedicate that to one another. That's so. Joel's only sitting there feeling like this and thinking like this because it had to have been born from all the times that Joel wanted to be there from the very first time, that he wanted to go to that restaurant because the food is that good, and he wants to sit across this amazing woman and do nothing but that. Share Chinese food together. It's that years had passed. They had done it so many times. All that shine, all that polish. I learned this from elders, just adults when I was a kid. I always hear them describe it like this: eventually, kiddo, that shine's gonna rub off. You guys are gonna wear it down. Your love, how you feel about one another, that connection between man and woman. You will get to the point where it looks very dull. I believe maybe the most popular word in the modern world is boring. Where's the excitement? There is no more excitement. It's not possible, because I know you that well. There is nothing left for me to know about you. And vice versa. What a dilemma. So out of this right here is the great debate. Oh yeah, for Christians, sure. Oh, it's so easy for Christians because all they have to do is open their Bible. Okay, you open the Bible, monogamy. Oh well, that must be the way. The Lord has said so. I'm one of these people. I believe the way that God would have people do it is the way to do it. But that's the nature of the debate. To argue against this. This is where people are, coming with the idea. No, see, look, it always leads to misery. This must be why the divorces, are higher than ever. And, after decades, people, they just start to resent each other because we're not meant for it. We are meant for polygamy. And the eternal sunshine of the spotless mind, in my personal interpretation, crushes this argument, destroys it. Because this is how it goes. You remember, as we continue to see Joel erase Clem one by one, these memories, they begin to go. When they're alone together, the first evenings of Netflix and chill. You know what I mean? All those dates. This is the one that kind of wakes Joel up. I love it. because it really resonated with me. I felt him 100%. I was right there with him for this scene. Maybe you were too. You don't even need, well, it's definitely going to be easier if you had a personal experience with a relationship to identify, so accurately and precisely with exactly what is happening to Joel in this scene. But honestly, even if you haven't, from one man to another, in terms of um, heartache, in terms of you know a shot to the soul in a painful way. I think you any man can understand where he's coming from, and it's when they're under the blanket. They're having a very, very intimate moment with one another. After men and women make love, it's very, very common, and honestly, it's a great place to be because after all the sparks fly, okay, it's very intense, very intimate, a very physical connection, and then once it ends and it's over, uh, both the man and the woman can kind of, yeah, right, you just lie down next to one another, you're enjoying the euphoria and the relief of that kind of activity, and it's almost perfect ground to just talk about whatever. It's actually kind of interesting. Nothing's real kind of in that moment. You're both probably in a room somewhere lying on a bed, but the rest of the world just doesn't really exist. It's such a interesting feeling of joy and contentment. Wow, we just did that and it was awesome. And then now I don't feel like doing anything else, you know. And you kind of ask the woman, and she's like, yeah, I don't feel like doing anything else right now either. I kind of just want to lie here. And so you do, and you both do. And that's why this is such an amazing moment for men and women to share. Truly, truly. I know. It's like, oh my goodness, Jason's going so hard right now on just the cuddle sesh after the bumping grind. I get that, but I just don't want to underestimate. I want to I want to give this moment that men and women, have shared across, all the centuries, all this time that like human beings have been connecting in this way, and for all the times that they're going to in the future. I want to give it all the reverence it deserves because it's in this moment that was captured so beautifully in this scene. Brother, I need you to see this. I want you to see it the way I saw it. Okay, they got the blanket over them, completely covered, kind of in a playful manner. For me, it reminded of when you're a kid and you build a pillow fortress. So it's kind of like that. It's very private, secretive. The blanket's over both of them. Okay, and Clem breaks down. It's almost because the world doesn't exist. Nothing's real right now. Just nothing matters. It's a very beautiful moment because quite literally, the sky could be falling outside of their bedroom, or maybe even in the room. But you know what I'm saying? Who cares? Not right now. It like the apocalypse can wait. Because right now it's just you and me, and we got this blanket over us, and you look like you want to tell me something. And Clem does. It's an extremely vulnerable moment that people don't you don't let stuff like this go really anywhere else in life, because brother, I would challenge you to give me somewhere anywhere else in the world you are going to be able to do that and feel seen and feel heard and feel acknowledged and to feel like you matter. I believe that's why it's so difficult to come out with these things in life. The stuff that no one's supposed to know. When I say no one, I mean nobody. It's only in extremely special moments like this in life that they have a chance to surface. Because right then and there, I believe this is one of the this is one of the this is one of the most precious elements of romance and love between men and women. Joel needed to hit every checkbox right there. And he does flawlessly. Maybe without even knowing it. This is my interpretation though. So what do I mean? So she needs to be comfortable right there. She needs to feel safe. She needs to feel at ease. She needs to feel ready. She needs to feel that she can trust Joel. She needs to feel loved. It's a lot. It's a lot. And it's just difficult. It's just really difficult. This is beyond love. I'm trying to talk about existence itself right now. It's hard to find this anywhere. And brother, you are not going to find this scrolling on the apps. I don't want young people to lose this. I don't want millennials, Zoomers, alphas, eventually the betas. Is generational lingo following military terms? So like they don't even exist yet. But if the next generation after that is called Charlie, the Charlies, and then the Deltas, and then the Echoes, it's gonna keep going. I won't even be here by that time. But this cannot be lost. This has to be right here. This has to be protected. This is why it's one. It's just one, and I'm trying to give it to you. Just this one. It's maybe my favorite scene in the movie. Of why relationships, they're so worth it. Because you cannot foster an environment like this in any other way. It's not gonna hit right. It's gonna be like artificial. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna this just feels off. Like, like it's too try hard, or like it's too nonchalant, or no, it's gotta be perfect. And that was perfect. That moment was perfect. She has in front of her in a soul outside of her. So she has a soul, and then she's in the presence of Joel, another soul who completely and totally, without a sliver of doubt. There's no second guessing. There's no wondering. There's nothing. There's no contemplation. She just knows. He totally sees me. That's why I say these are rare moments. They usually happen, okay, after procreation. And it seems Clem says something along the lines of, "This is why I'm broken." It comes out. It comes out right there. She gives everything to Joel. She gives what, like, no one save God. But Father exists outside of all of this. So I don't think you can count Dad. Dad's on his own. Do you know what I mean, bro? Like, you agree? God is on his own tier. It's separate. In the mortal realm, billions of souls, only Joel is given the blessing and the privilege to know why is my darling broken? And Clem, after she gives it to him, she's flooded. She's absolutely flooded. She's so relieved, but at the same time kind of upset, because I believe she's relieved, because I can't believe I got to be alive for this experience, that I could give you something like this. Joel, I got to meet you, and I was able to have this moment with you where I could finally say something like this to somebody else and not feel inadequate, and not feel judged, and not feel not enough. But then she's also upset because I believe she wishes that she wasn't like this, that she wasn't broken, that she didn't have these kinds of issues. Because that's how much she loves Joel, because she wishes that, oh, it'd be nice if I could have just been like that girl for you. Brother, do you know what Joel does? You saw the scene yourself. He doesn't even use words. He just starts kissing her everywhere. He starts pummeling her with kisses. True king. He decides in that moment, I don't have words for this. I could try, but I'd much rather show you. And he's just the more Joel kisses Clem right there, okay, nose, eye, cheek, neck, everywhere, the harder she cries. It's like, maybe these tears are tears of joy. Maybe these tears are tears of disbelief. There's no way you could love me like this. And Joel, by using kisses, his reply was, try. I dare you. Try me. We'll see. We'll see if I don't love you back. As if you weren't everything to me. And that's still not enough. That's still not enough, bro. That's one of the very special moments that's captured throughout the journey we go on, with Joel trying to erase he's trying to pluck every single one of these memories out of them because they've become so painful, because she's not there anymore, because it didn't work out. So why did I tell you all of that? And then I had the audacity to say this film is actually one of the best reasons to try to get into love. Brother, you single, I'm single too, but we need to try. But we need to try for the rest of our lives. Why do I say that? Now, I admit, I want to say this first. There were some greater forces at play here beyond Joel and Clem. Okay. For maybe your average person, fate. For a believer, oh, you know it, brother. This is God. This is God's work right here. I believe it was the hand of God that had the side plot situation happened with I believe he's the head doctor. He's the head physician for the office that does mind erasure work. And there was an intern, or maybe just she is not an intern. She's just one of the assistants, or I forget. I forget her actual job title, but she works there too. And it's crazy because he's married, on the much older side. Probably been in his marriage with his wife for decades. It seems they got kids. Still had the affair. For whatever reason, this very, very young woman falls for this older gentleman, and he gets into adultery, if that's a right term, and it doesn't end well. Those situations rarely do. She requests a procedure herself. Oh, this is so embarrassing. This is so painful. This was such a mistake. So much regret. So much shame. Get this out of my, erase, this out of my head. And they do. And it was successful. And it happens all over again. And the post erase operation version of her finds out, as we see in the film, what had actually happened, and she quits, and then she goes on kind of a crusade. She just is so shocked, and like, I don't know, maybe the morality of it was not sitting well in her soul, and she thought, this is what she thought. She thought, you know what, everyone deserves to know, which is kind of crazy, actually. Like, no lie. Like, what it, like, you know what I'm saying? Were there some people who didn't want to know? Was that in the waiver? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how ethical is it? This is pretty crazy. This is actually a really bold move. It works out. It works out. I'm just saying, bro. I'm actually thinking about this right now out loud. And it's just like, oh my God. What if there were some people who, you know what I mean? Got the procedure because it ended well. Do you see? Like, it wasn't a divorce. It was not separation. It was just an age difference, and one passed of natural causes earlier. And it's like and it's like the husband or the wife who's still around would just like to live out the rest of their days, right, without that freaking heartache. I, they're not my dearest love is not around anymore. So I'll get the procedure. So, you know what I mean? We don't have those details. I'd like to think that she was mindful enough. She left those people alone, but maybe not. It seems as though baby girl wild out. She was like, you know what I'm saying, very upset. And she's just like, everybody's going to get to know now. And that's why the tapes got sent back to Joel and Clem after they run back into each other for a first date. Wild. I love the way that Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind did it. And this is why, brother, I'm going to end on this. Because it went full circle. It came all the way. What goes around comes around, as Justin Timberlake said way back in my day. It went full circle. And it's such a perfect moment that these tapes arrive, because these tapes are filled with why they hate each other. It's a whole, remember, it's a whole process. It's not just oh yeah, oh, what do you want erased? Got it. Come back at 3 p.m. next Tuesday. No, they really get into it. You got to go wherever you live. You got to purge any kind of memorabilia that has to do with that person. They ask you almost kind of like an interview. They ask you all sorts of questions. So why? And then, can you tell us? You got to give us the details. What happened? What went wrong? What do you specifically? Is it all of it? Is it just this part? It's quite detailed. And so a part of that is to tell the physician before the erasure procedure begins, where is this all coming from? What are all your reasons and your rationales and your justifications for why you don't want to remember anything about this person ever again? Dude, if you remember, bro, these tapes are uh very direct. These tapes are, just nothing held back. There we go. Whew. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can imagine if this was real. Imagine if you could hear, you're like, you got this tape from your ex, like, okay, god dang, all right, because Clem goes, I hate how quiet he is. Do you see, brother? Do you see? It's you can't have one without the other. Do you see both sides? This is why they got together. Well, it's not why, but it's one of the reasons. Like, I'm super loud and I'm all over the place, and Joel is not. Joel is very all up in here. He's an artist. He's very creative and very in his own head. Obviously too much, to the point that became one of the biggest problems for Clem. And Clem was like, I hate, he's like, he holds everything in. He keeps me away. He never really opens up to me. He's always got that mopey face. He's like, she goes in on him. And then he does the same. And he just like, she will never shut up. It's incredible. It's like I'm paraphrasing, and I'm also improvising. I don't remember exactly what they said in the tapes, but it's freaking hilarious though. It's because Joe was just like, it's like, this is where you get to rant about everything you hate about the one that you cannot live without. And Joel just like never shuts up. Will, right? Always has an opinion on everything. Okay. Uh uh is always doing something to test my boundaries. Saying freaking wild child. I unpredictable. I don't know if it's gonna be like this with her. I don't know if it's gonna be like that with her. And she starts playing it because if you remember, they have that really, really special date together, running back into one another after they have both forgotten that they just got out of, you know what I'm saying, years and years and years worth of time of being in a relationship with one another. After that first date, she gets back in the car, plays the tape, and Joel's flashbang. Poor dude. He was just like, "Yo, what kind of sick joke is this? What the frick?" Because hearing her talk about why he's so imperfect, and then it's crazy. He's like, "Get out, get out of my car." Like this is what is going on right now. You take your little, like this is like some sort of demented joke. Okay, you're a sicko. Goodbye. And she was like, and she's confused too. Like she's just like also trying to process. But of course, as God would have it, Clem wouldn't make it. She'd end up back at his apartment, and when she steps in, Joel is on the ground, sitting there in disbelief, just like she was when she started playing the tape in the car. He's listening to himself tell him why he hates the woman he just had a great date with, why she's so awful. And then he's like, oh my god, let me turn it off. And then baby girl's a real one. Clem is a real one. You love to see it. She goes, fair is fair. Fair is fair. You heard my share. Let me hear yours. And the tape's playing in the background, and then they I think they realize together, like the epiphany hits. And so Clem is like, all right, well, there's no surprise this time, right? That's gonna be us in a few years. I really like you, and I know you really like me too, but it doesn't matter. Like, look what's waiting for us. Did you catch it, bro? And this is why love is worth it. This is why it's so special. Yes, even today. Okay, with all the craziness, how should I say, how rapidly digital dating is evolving. I know, bro. I know. But he goes, yeah, and I still want to try. So I believe what Joel's is saying right there in that moment is, so I fell for you. And I loved you so much that I stayed with you for this long to discover all the things I detest about you, all the things I find repulsive about you. And I don't care. Even with all the flaws that you and I will find in each other, I still just want to try with you. I just don't want to do this with anyone else. I want you to really hear me now, brother. Make no mistake. If you get anything from this episode today, get this, bro. You're gonna do that. So what happens to Joel and Clem, you're going to do that with any woman. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She can be Helen of Troy. She can be Aphrodite, Cleopatra, Juliet. It doesn't matter, bro. It's as if, I don't know why it's like this. I really don't. I'm just a yapper, and I contemplate why God has love be like this in this world. But but you don't get the love. You don't without hatred following. So if you and I can accept this, brother, that's inevitable. It does get hard. It does get weird. You do have to find middle ground. You got to compromise. You got to sit down and have the hard talks. You got to work through it. Keyword work right there. The reason why it's so worth it to do exactly that is because you get to have a person in life that sees you for every reason why they should have nothing to do with you, and they still stay. Joel gave that to Clem in the hallway. I love the way Kate Winslet did this. I love the way Kate looked up. Oh my God. It pierced my soul. You love to see it when actors and actresses, they understand the assignment, and sometimes you shouldn't. To really hit it home for us in the audience, you don't want to use words, and you want to just use the human being. And Kate just looks up. She's not like, she could have totally been like, "Are you serious? Oh, okay, all right, like I'm down too. Dope. Oh, that's so exciting." No, Kate just looks up at him, and she's crying to show Joel, why would you say that to me? Why would you tell me that? I'm just a human being. It's difficult to accept, but she knows he's not lying. Like I think she's crying because like she can't believe her ears, really, is what it is. Wait, but so you just heard every reason why I'm a terrible human being. I'm an awful person. And you still wanna? That's love. Brother, that's love. That's what we're fighting for. That's why you need to try. Joel is not. It's a medium. It's a medium of exchange. It's not even necessarily sacrificial because he's going to get it back from her. He's messed up too. Do you see, brother? As human beings, we are all a bundle of our own problems in life. These two people, and this is how the film ends, and it's just, I was blown away. I was freaking blown away. I just started to clap. I do that sometimes when I really enjoy a movie. It's not Disney. It's not Disney, bro. It's not the black screen with the closing circle, and you see Joel and Clem drive off into the sunset. No, it's real. I love it because I agree. I think this is what love really is. I've actually seen it. I've seen it. I've seen my parents do this. They've been successfully married for decades. Family members, friends. How? Same thing. Same thing that the eternal sunshine of the spotless mind is trying to teach you and me, bro. Know that it's inevitable and it's inescapable, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it, and you can have it if you try. Okay? How special is that? How beautiful is this? This is absolutely, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. That's what it is, brother. That's it, potential, possibility. I mean, really, life kind of, existence itself kind of rests on potential and possibility at a certain point. So maybe not, but if you hit it, bro, but if you try, that's what it is right there. You realize I'm so fudged up, and you are too. And that's why we need each other. So we can try and make it through this crazy experience of life. We're going to try to make it through this mad ride that is the human experience together. I don't know much. I just know I'm not going to let you do this alone. And when it's mutual, it's a good life. That's why it's worth it to try, bro. That's why it's worth it to fight for. Like in life, I'm serious. You know, like when men, you know, MGTOW, red pill. Red pill's tough. I gotta. Red pill may be coming soon to a Pillars of Man podcast near you. Black pill, you know, I'm just gonna fire off a few things right now. If you know, you know, just yeah, I already said MGTOW. You know, just checked out man. It's you like I get it. It's tough. It's really, really tough, but it's tough because this is the possibility. This is what a man could have. Brother, you don't let anyone take that from you. Do you know what I'm saying, bro? Social media, the news, you know, women who are wilding out, situationships and, you know, manipulation, advantage takers, life ruiners. Okay. You know what I'm saying? With you know what I'm saying? All black, emo, the makeup, the stockings. Good Lord, brother. You got lethal. You got to be careful. But it's worth it. It's worth it. And my God, does Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind prove it? Jim Carrey killed it. Kate Winslet nailed it. Oh, as Joel, so perfect as Joel and Clem in this film. What a beautiful vision the director successfully executed. You know, across this wonderful medium of art, the cinema. So if you just heard me yap about all of that and you still haven't seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, starring the great Jim Carrey and the wonderful Kate Winslet, you got to see it, bro. You absolutely have to. And I'm very confident it will change your current perspectives on love and hopefully maybe give you that little jolt, a little bit extra fuel to wake up tomorrow with just a bigger reason to do it. And you'll find me right here talking about all this good stuff. It's what I do. I talk about God, anime, and movies right here at the Pillars of Man podcast. If you like content like that, you hit the subscribe button for me. You listen on Spotify, bro. You follow me on there. Wherever you find this, shoot me a follow. I'd love to catch you for my next one. But until then, take it easy. Take good care of yourself. And I love you so much.